I'm obviously going to encourage a limited launch, especially if you have a radically different product. You have to choose certain markets. Now, the question is, can you go deep on the adoption curve in those markets? Because if you can, that is the best use of your resources. And I don't just mean your money. Listen, early adopters and innovators want to meet the vice president. They want to meet the founder. They want to talk to the director of R&D. Like, they want to talk to your key people. And if you go wide, you will burn your people up. But if you go into select markets, then the founder can get off the plane and go meet 7 surgeons in Dallas, right? But if you've got 3 customers in 6, over the course of 3 states, that's going to be different. And listen, going wide is expensive. You will burn capital like crazy, and the market doesn't like it. The street doesn't like it. Which model is better? 7 reps raising $10 million or 22 reps raising $10 million? Do you really want to give away equity? Do you really want to create inactives and dabblers? And I can tell you, and I can show you the dynamics, one of these models has a tremendous word of mouth, ricochet, referencing effect. And I can teach you how to do that and why it works. So if you go on my website, Kerry Hagan is currently the CEO of Intrinsic Medical. They're selling the Barricade product. And we got him a vision deck, and we got him this adoption curve applications. And he looked for it for years. He talked to a number of people who nobody could explain to him how to apply the adoption curve. Go watch. He talks for 5 or 6 minutes. He explains his search and what he found when he joined me. Now, the other person I want to bring to your attention is Sandy Ruggles. She's on the strategic marketing side. She's a consultant that you would call in your run-up to FDA approval, trying to figure out, what's our market potential, what's our market opportunity. Now, the thing that she does, and the reason she's at Stanford Biodesign with Josh McAuer and the other folks, is because she knows how to apply the adoption curve in her research. Listen, it's garbage in, garbage out. If your market research is talking to the wrong customer base on the adoption curve, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to get wrong answers and wrong indicators, and your launch is going to be poor. The other thing I would encourage you is at some point you're going to have to buy data. You're going to have to buy data that tells you all the ear, nose, and throat surgeons in Indiana, all the orthopedic surgeons in California. Right? You're going to have market databases with customer profiles and prescription data and health claims data, so that you know who's doing the most procedures of what. This is the only platform I'm aware of, not Definitive Health, not Salesforce, none of those. Acuity MD has come up with a platform, and Michael Monavukas has come up with a platform where I can use his data to profile surgeons and other customers on the adoption curve. Because not only does he have claims data that tells me, which urologist is doing the most prostates and which urologist is doing the most bladder cancers, and that's all in there. But he also has Sunshine Act data. He can tell me who went to dinner with the most recent innovation product that's also already on the market, so I know who's likely to be first movers. Who's taken a lunch or a dinner to hear about new products in the last 18 months. It's fascinating, but it's the only one I know of that works that way. He can tell you who's published papers and what papers they've published. It's really good. All right, so quick poll. Let's see what you guys have so far in place from a market targeting perspective. Please answer the following questions. Yeah, this adoption thing, application's tough. All right, thank you very much. Thank you for that feedback. Okay, great. All right, so let's get into some specifics, okay? It's time to go. We're gonna build tools. What should we do? How should we make sure that this is effective? I'm going to market, build me some tools. Well, I'm gonna recommend that you reference the Challenger sale. Hopefully some of you are familiar with the Challenger sale. Dixon and Adamson, right? watched 6,000 sales reps from all kinds of industries during the 2008 market downfall. And it was very fascinating. They came away with several observations. What they said was, we observed about 5 different profiles of salespeople. It's fascinating research. It's something you should know. And they specifically identified somebody who was winning during the downturn when everybody else was losing. And they said, these people are doing 3 things. They're teaching. That's big. Okay, they're teaching. They're tailoring their messages, and they're taking control. And specifically, they wish that they would have changed the title of their book. They've gone publicly and they've said this. We wish we wouldn't have called it the Challenger Sale. It gave the impression that people were going to go out and like debate and fight with their customers, challenging all the time. They wish we would have named it Insight Selling. Because one of the things that challengers do is they see things other people miss, very much like Sherlock Holmes. And if you're in startup mode, that's the kind of person you need in the field. Somebody who's going to see the patient pathway, somebody's going to see the utilization of your product and start to observe really carefully how it's going and come back to you with some really good field input. Hey, this is what I'm seeing. Hey, what about this? Hey, what about that? Now, I was part of Spyrox, and I was part of the team that launched Spyrox. And what you need to know is that team launched with some specific tools. And we went back at the 12-month period, and we went to 69 physicians, and we said, hey, do you remember Scott saying this? Do you remember Emily saying this? Do you remember Claire saying this? That's called aided recall. And if you can get 2 messages above 60%, you're crushing it. You're doing great. As you can see, this team got 12 messages above 60%. And you should be asking yourself, how in the world did they get their messages to be that sticky? Well, specifically, they followed the pattern in the Challenger Sale book. So the guys at Challenger have something called 6 Steps of Commercial Teaching. When they were observing those 6,000 reps, they found these people they call challengers. And they saw these people talking and thinking in a very specific sequence. It's really interesting. And I spot them all the time. I guarantee you, some of you already do this. When you're pitching investors or when you're putting your product ideas out, you already do this, but watch what they did.
Success requires insights. Elite execution requires training. Go to www.exsalesconsulting.com/special offers.